Then
I'm so tired.
Joki Dabali was in a homework. The bundles of joy. The bundles of joy have come with homework. But you have to do homework. At every bundle of joy, you're chasing them to go and bathe. Bundle of joy.
TV.
TV. Bundle of joy mulino kola homework anabe agende yebake. Bundle of joy nafukire ekizibu. Jokira, you have to load the dishwasher if you're lucky.
If you have a dishwasher,
if you're lucky to have a dishwasher, or you have to wash the utensils or supervise the one that's washing the utensils so that they don't leave the kitchen dirty. Hello. Hi, boys and girls.
Hi.
How are you?
How is it?
Welcome to episode 8 of She Knows Best.
It's not therapy, but it might help.
Yep, we have an exciting episode ahead.
This is a very interesting one.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It's a good one. We also know it's a good one. But yeah, episode 8. Wow, guys. Thanks for rocking with us.
We have to think of like something special for episode 10. I'm thinking because it's such a big deal. 10 episodes is not small.
It's not small.
I keep looking forward to episode 10. I don't know why. A giveaway.
What are you giving away?
Brands.
Collabs. Hit us up.
Call us.
Let's do something.
Yeah, let's do something.
Let's work.
We're about to send proposals.
Yeah. They are coming to your emails. Look out. Yeah.
May the email find you well.
Indeed. So yeah, welcome to episode 8. It's a very exciting episode. We're going to be talking about, it's not contentious, but it's I mean, in some spheres it is contentious.
First of all, what does contentious mean? You're using big words, Liz. Chichi?
Like topic elimu enkayana.
No, this one elimu enkayana for sure. For sure, especially as African women.
Yeah.
Elimu enkayana because
yeah. So the episode is on
one.
Yeah, the episode is on parenting, to be or not to be.
That is the question.
Yeah, so quick check-in. How has your week been?
Week has been all right. It's come I came from like a very upbeat 2 weeks, but this next week is just a bit more chilled. It's very admin work, proposals, emails, follow up. I hope this finds you well. I'm just following up on our last email.
Please find attached.
So that's the week. But I think it's also been good because it's had like friends, family interactions, everyone that had been that I had abandoned in like the last 2 months. I'm now trying to see them, visit, dinners with friends, things like that. So yeah, it's now, I'm now coming back to like a very me, but not me, but a bit more chilled because it's been high energy for a while. It's good. It's getting a bit more chilled.
Yeah.
And you, how's it been? Chechidiwo?
I mean, for me, not much has changed. This is my slow season.
Yeah.
So a lot of behind the scenes work. And I think it's important for us to take time off every year to do the behind the scenes work, like the background work of what actually operates our day-to-day life, right? So for me, this is that season. So a lot of like behind the computer, behind the desk.
Yeah.
Very, slowish seasons, like you said, as well. Please, a lot of please find attached.
Yeah.
Share the document.
I have made comments on this document. Please see the comments.
Yeah, so that's what I'm about right now.
Man, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that thing of like doing inventory on like in the slow seasons is something that I really need to figure out how to incorporate in, I think, my life.
Yeah.
Because I think I saw a meme today where it was saying you're on vacation, but you work in the entertainment industry. So a person was like, you could see them, I think, at the sports grounds, and they were just typing on their computer. And I was like, oh my God, that's my life.
That's so you.
That is so my life, because it doesn't matter where I might be on vacation, I might be wherever I am. I might be saying, oh no, like it's a time off, da, da, da. But I will still be sending an email. I'll still be replying to something. Like there is never off. Even when I say it's even when I say like it's slow for me. For me, like anyone else, they'll be like, that's not slow at all. But I think it's definitely very important to take that time to just like do that inventory and be like, bruh, like, how are you? How have you been? How is life? How is it going? Decompress. And I think also because I do like 5 different things, like I keep telling people I have 5 jobs. Because technically I do, because I have like 3 companies that I run. I have like 2 companies that I work for. So it's just, if you can't be, it's very difficult to be off at all of them at the same time. So there's always something. So it's just one of these days, inshallah, I'm going to figure it out.
You know, the thing is, like, you're such a busy person, which is great. Like me, I believe in being a doer of things, which is like great. But one of the things that you need to learn to do is delegate.
That's true, guys.
But you're getting there.
I'm getting there.
You're getting there.
Right?
You're learning.
I'm trying. Anyway, guys, I'm getting there. And I think by like the end of next year, guys, I'll have figured myself out. I'll have delegated. I'll have like structured myself. And then I'll be like on 6 months holidays.
Because I think that's where you should be. And I'm glad you're going there. Like, because you're so good at picking like the right people, like putting the right teams together. But like, you should like give them, like you should delegate more work. For you now, you should be like in a very chilling, like letting people do things.
That's
but you're getting
so
there.
Nice.
You're getting there.
I'm
you're getting there.
But it sounds so nice. Like even just thinking about Kayla is laughing at me. But yeah, it sounds like it's such a dream. Like, oh God. But anyway, inshallah.
No, I know. Because when you're a doer of things, sometimes it's so hard to relinquish control like of certain things. Because I also I don't want to say used to, because I'm a very similar journey. Like I'm learning how to let other people do. Do you understand? Like, because I think what I notice is like I'm a big vision kind of person. So I get bored with like the day-to-day tasks.
Things.
Yeah, but then it's also important to allow, even if when I want other people to do the day-to-day task, to let them do the task in the best way they know how to.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. Without me telling them what to do or how to do it. Like, we just agree on
as long as the delivery, like it's the delivery of the thing. If you can get me what I want, how you get to it is none of my business.
Yeah.
I think that's how I work, like with the people that I work with as well. I don't care how you get to where you're getting to, as long as at the end of the day I have what I need.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a lot of like how which like I've been privileged. The people that I've technically worked for, that's how they've also operated. It's like, it's not, okay, this is how I expect you to do this, ABC. No, it's always been, do you have what I need? Yes, I do. How I go to it,
none of my business.
If it's not illegal, if it does not lose me money, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think because like we've shared, I know we're going on and on about like our careers now, which is a whole other episode.
Yeah.
And I think because we've shared some of those bosses before, I appreciate that approach. Because I've also worked in like different contexts, like let's say like public service or whatever, where everything is so structured for you and it has to be a certain way.
And you
for
can't
me, that
do it. Even
me
it stresses me so much. I tried. I had like a 3-month stint. I said, nope.
Because I'm just like, how is it? Like, okay, we need to grow, but how is it that like you're not giving me that leeway to innovate, to be creative, to
also,
find an alternative?
Also, you got me here for a reason.
Yeah.
You get like where I wasn't doing things that way that you do them.
Yeah.
But I was still getting the best results.
Yeah.
So you got me here because I was getting results.
Yeah.
So
why are you not trusting me to get the results
you get?
Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole other topic.
That's
on
actually
career,
a whole other topic
and like,
for sure. Yeah.
And work stuff. But today's episode is on parenting. Yeah. And there's this belief that, parenting is one of the biggest decisions of our lives, but we rarely discuss.
Is it even a decision at this point? It's an expectation.
It's an expectation, exactly. So we barely discuss it. We very rarely discuss it outside of like cultural expectations and what's expected of us to to be parents. It's the expectation. And I know a lot of the people that watch this podcast are women like ourselves.
Yeah.
And for women especially, it's expected, and for men, but it's expected that you must want to be a parent.
Yeah.
Right?
How dare you?
Yeah. So
what else is there for you to do if it is not to be a parent?
And the idea that what our life's biggest purpose is to, or one of our life's biggest purpose, especially as women, is to be a mother. Like, you were brought here, you were made to be a mother.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah. And yet that expectation is actually not placed on men. Like, it's not placed on men. It's placed on men to give us their seed, or
and actually, exactly, like, I think there's a difference between the expectation to be a mother and the expectation to be I don't know, like, is it like, I don't understand. I don't know what word to use.
It's the expectation. I think it's the expectation for women to give birth to and raise children.
And raise children, yes.
For men, it's only
just to procreate.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So for a man, it's like, have you procreated? Like, no one is going to ask, like, are you a father?
Are you a present father? Yeah.
No, like, do you have kids somewhere?
That's it. It's as if,
is there someone that has your blood?
Child. Yeah.
That shares your blood. That's it. That's the expectation.
It. Yeah.
But for women, you're expected to be a mother.
Yeah.
And that comes with, of course, raising and taking care of and being in service to the children for the rest of your life. And that is your expectation. Because even if you've given birth and you are not in service to that child, then technically you failed.
Yeah. And yet, like, we've normalized deadbeat fathers or absent fathers. Like, it's okay. It's like, they'll say deadbeat, but it's not, to be honest, it's not as frowned upon. Yeah, it's not as frowned upon.
It's really not.
It's not as frowned upon as like being a single mother. It's like,
which is weird.
Which is wild.
It's so wild because it's like, how are single mothers frowned upon? How is it that the person that stayed, the person that's looking after the child is the one that's the problem? How is
like it makes sense.
Anyway, you get logical gender.
The logical gender. Anyway, that thing plays me, and I know we'll keep touching on it in this episode. But so we were discussing like why choose to be parents? Like, is it legacy, lineage, tradition, religion? Like, what's your viewpoint on like this whole parenting thing? Do you want to be a parent? Like, because for me, I can start by like sharing my perspective or like my life experience. So, like, for me, I became a mother by accident, right?
It was a real accident.
It was a real accident. The circumstance was an accident. The child is not an accident, no. Right? And I need to make that very clear, because multiple truths can exist. Like, my kid, love her. I don't know. I can't imagine
she's
my
a blessing
life
to all of us.
I can't imagine my life without her, right? But like, the circumstances under which was born were accidental, right? And I decided to continue ahead and have the child, raise the child. I have such a great community and support system. One of the aunties is here. She does
cool auntie, by the way. Yeah,
she does a lot of the labor.
The pop culture labor.
And other amazing people that I have in my life, right? But for me, it also came from the point of like, from when I was a child, I knew that this is something I wanted. I knew I wanted to one day have children. And though it came at the time that I hadn't planned, I'm like, okay, well, stuff happens. And you can't plan your life out exactly how and as it must be. And I remember my mom said something very profound to me. She said, because my mom's very Christian. She said, you'll never know, you don't know why God gave you this child at this point in life. Yeah. Because life throws you curveballs I don't know. I mean, because I've gone a whole, almost 15 years and I don't have another kid yet. And she's like, what if this is the only child that you'll have? And I'm like, now I see it, especially now. I'm like, what if this is the only child I'll have? And I'm comfortable with that because I've met that goal that I had for my younger self. She's enough, right? I wanted to be a parent and I'm a parent. Yeah. When it came and how it happened, that's a whole other situation. But I'm a parent and I'm a mother, and that's something that I knew I wanted and I still want. Like, I don't know if I will do it again in the future. It's like 50-50, but I've achieved that and I've attained that, right? And I'm also a believer in that there's different ways to be a parent, right?
100%.
If that's something that you want. Like, there's so many different ways to be a parent, and I think we don't account for that in our society.
Which is so sad.
Yeah.
Especially from, like, the backgrounds that we come from. Because, I mean, like, for me, like, the background that I come from, I come from, like, war.
Yeah.
You get, so refugees and things like that. And I have a lot of relatives and cousins who... the families the people that they call mom and dad are not the people that birthed them.
Yeah.
You get, they're not people that even related to them in blood.
Yeah.
By blood, it's just people that, like, out of circumstance, like, they needed help. My auntie or whoever stepped in and they're the ones taking care of them.
Yeah.
And there is no world where you can tell me that's not their parent.
Yeah.
You get.
Exactly.
You get, like, exactly. You can't. So why is it that when we talk about parenting, like, we have this very linear view of how it's supposed to happen?
Yeah.
And if it's not happening how we expect it to happen, then it's not
we don't recognize it. Yeah, it's invalid, basically.
Which is so sad. It's so wild.
Yeah, it's so wild because, like, same for me, like, and I think it's a very it's like an African thing, maybe.
Yeah, actually,
like,
it's a very African thing of, like, we as Africans have no business seeing parenting in such a linear way. Because we're very extended family people.
We're very communal. Because, like, same for me, like, people, I laugh and we say, like, just even here at the funeral, and I kept saying, I have many siblings. Like, yes, there's, like, the biological children, but technically we are more than that.
So many.
Like, I keep saying I have so many older siblings because I was raised in a home where my parents decided to raise other children who are, like, their siblings' children, like my cousins, and they looked at them as their children, and same for them, they viewed my parents as their parents.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, why do we look at it like, why do we look at it from, like, such a...
I think that's a colonial thing. It's a very colonial thing.
Nuclear and extended family.
Nuclear and extended family. It is because for me, it has never made sense because you can't say because she hasn't given birth, then she doesn't have children.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah, mothering can look different.
Mothering looks so different for so many different people.
Yeah.
So you can't be there and say, because it's a very colonial thing. I truly believe it's a very westernized way of thinking.
Yeah.
And it's like, stop it.
Yeah. It's very colonial mentality because, like, for them, it's like, mom, dad, 3 children, dog, white picket fence.
That's it. Yeah, because that's a family to them. Those are parents to them.
Yeah, and I know I have, for example, a lot of friends who friends in the West, like white and whatever others, and for them they rarely talk about, like, cousins, and they for them it's not like a thing. You know how we say, like, these, like, for example, even just saying these are my siblings, but they're not my biological, but they're my siblings. Like, for me, like, explaining that to them, they don't understand it.
Yeah.
But I tell them, like, those are my parents' children.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's like, for me, it's just so well, because it's even the term, like, step brother or step, like, that term is so nasty in my mouth, because I'm like, what do you mean step?
Thank you. Because
what do you, like, only English has that kind of step.
Yeah.
Step brother, step, like, what are you saying?
That? Yeah. Like, and I kept telling people, like, even, like, I kept telling people, like, even the funeral, like, my dad one of the things that he taught us, he said he hated the word cousin.
Yes.
Because if you're in his house, you're
all his children.
You're his children. Like, cousin, what's the word cousin? And he said, tell me the word cousin in Luganda. In our context, they are not
That's what
in
I was
many
going to
languages,
say.
there's no word for
Cousin. That's what
You're
I was
all
going to say.
kin,
You're all
right?
kin, yes.
Yeah, so you're all brothers and sisters.
That's what I was going to say. Like, even step, like, I don't think there is a term for step in our local languages, because if that's your father, that's your father.
Yeah.
If that's your mother, that's your mother. You get.
Yeah.
So so I think parenting looks different, and I think first and foremost, before you consider, even if you think being a parent is what you want to do, I think just first look at what that means to you.
Yeah.
And how that looks like for you.
Yeah.
And then maybe start from there, because again, anything could happen. You would be that maybe you're hell-bent on a biological biological way of parenting, and maybe that's not what God has put in place for you. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe your body can't be able to do that. And then what? Are you giving up on your dream of being a parent? Is that what being a parent means to you? Is it giving birth? Is that what being a parent means to you? And if that's what being a parent means to you, I feel like you need to think about why that is.
Yeah.
Why,
and where it stems
from. It stems from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to being dragged into like what societal expectations. Exactly. Because now, like, for example, like back to that point that I was saying, like, there's no word for cousin, but there's also no, for example, the word auntie in Uganda, for example, is mama muto. Do you understand? Yes. So, like, your auntie is
that's your mom.
That's your mom.
That's
like
your mother.
Young, like mama muto, like for instance, is like young mother.
Yes.
So, like, that's recognized as your mother.
Yeah.
And I see how I've seen how it has played out in my life, like with my own kid and like my daughter's aunties, like even like outside aunties, like my friends, like you, like my sisters, like do you understand? That's parenting.
That's our child, all of us.
Yeah,
that's our child, all of us. I mean,
yeah.
It's even the way, like, even me, like, I'm always joking with people, like, every time people are like, oh yeah, like, when are you going to have your kids? I'm like, bro, I have kids. What are you saying?
Yeah.
I have kids, like my brothers, like all my nieces and nephews, those are my babies.
Yeah.
You get, those are my babies. Those, like, if they need anything, they'll know to come to me. If they need any advice, they'll know to come to me. Like, yeah, maybe sometimes I'll take them back, but those are my children. Yeah. And there's, like, you can't convince me otherwise. What are you saying? Like, no, sometimes I'll be playing with the kids and some people will be like, oh, get your own. I'm like, Are you not seeing them? What are you saying? Like, those are my babies. So that's the thing. I think we just need to decolonize ourselves from. Yeah. I think that's the thing. The biggest thing is when you decide that you want to have children is, I think my thing is, think about why. Why is it that you feel the need to have children? And I'm not like invalidating like you people needing to have kids, but like also what does parenting look like for you, and why does it look like the way that it does for you? Because is it because that different reasons people give you for having children?
I know. They are not mathing, but I'm also a believer in the fact that, and people say this, that many people have the capacity to have children, but not everyone should have children.
That one. So first, say it louder for the camera.
Like, many people have the capacity to have children, but not everyone should have children.
Thank you. And this,
like the fact that your organs for reproduction work
doesn't mean it's not for by force.
It's not for by force. Doesn't mean that you need to use them to procreate. It's not for by force.
It's not for by force.
Yeah.
It's really, really not for by force. But the thing is, I think most importantly is also, I think now I'm just going to say this. There's no reason that you can give me for wanting children in this world that we're living in now and the state of the world. That is not a selfish reason.
Yeah. To be fair. Yeah.
There is no single reason you can give me that is not a selfish reason. And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's very, very okay as long as we recognize that.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And that's not like shaming people that want children. Like, children are amazing. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, the way that I love children is unimaginable. Like, you cannot imagine how much I love children. Yeah. So but the thing is, like, I think we just need to be aware of these things.
Yeah.
we need to be aware of these reasons, because people are having children and to be honest, people are regretting it, because one, you're having, maybe it's because society is telling you like, now it's time, you're a woman, what are you doing? Because again, how can you be a woman and you don't want to have a child? What do you mean? This, actually, not even how can you be a woman and you don't have to have a child. How can you be a woman and you don't want to give birth to a child? You get, and it's like, what? How dare you? Like, what is your worth if it's not your womb? But that's also a very, very unfair thing to put on women, because not every woman can be able to give birth. So
some people are dealing with things that you know nothing so many about.
Things. You know, like, and my worst thing is where people, like, you'll find a woman, maybe she's just gotten married, maybe she's married a year or two, and then people are like, oh yeah, so when I gave him birth, you could have, you might be asking her that, and this woman just had a miscarriage 2 days ago. You don't know.
You don't know what people are dealing with.
You don't know what people are dealing with, and it's because of this expectation that we put on women that we feel entitled to ask them things like that, to have conversations like that. And I think all these things just like they all end up in a bad way. Because when you put that pressure,
all very problematic.
It's so problematic when you put all that pressure on people and all these things on this woman, because she also, how do you know it's her who doesn't, who can't have children?
Exactly. And that's something.
There's also that question. So there's, I feel like we've gone like all things with this conversation before we've even gotten to where we have. But there's so much like there's so many problematic things around the topic of parenting that is so crazy. But I think first and foremost, you have, what I would tell people is, if you, like what you said, like you want to be a parent or you want to be a mother, I think just think about like how or why and why why that particular way. I think it's very important, because we might I think, I don't remember where I saw this, but it's a while back, where someone was saying like feminism gave us choice, right? Like we it allows us to choose, and it tells that because we can make decisions and things like that. But we have to always remember that whatever choices that we make, we are like, the patriarchy is internalized in us, whether you like it or not, whether you're like, you might be a feminist and you're like, yes, like you get like equity, fuck the patriarchy and all those things. But at the end of the day, that's society has already beaten that into you as you're growing up. Like, we're still all unlearning. So whether we like it or not, some of the decisions and some of the things that we do are going to be intertwined with like patriarchy and misogyny and patriarchal ideas. So you might be thinking, I have to give birth to a child. Is it because you really like is it because that's what you really want, or
you've been told,
or
like,
you've been told like that's
adulthood,
or even that's the only way to be a parent? Like, because maybe your worth comes from like you giving birth to a child and giving this love to a child. Maybe you could think of different ways to be a parent as well. Also, man, the world is burning. Take care of the ones that are already.
Man, first of all, anyway, before we get to the next part, first of all, children are so expensive. Guys, like, to be honest, I don't judge people often, but sometimes I judge people. Because there are people who, they keep saying, I have to have children because that's what's expected of me. That's what, And I'm like, who's saying, how are you going to feed your children? How? You see, even as of one child, we are struggling.
Man, that view is a bit difficult to think it, because I remember I also used to think like that, but I remember someone talking about like, so should poor people not have kids? You get it? And I know that like, yes, and also like feed the child to you might look different from someone else.
That's also true. That's
so
also
I think
true. That's very
that
valid.
thing of
That's
like children being like expensive is like maybe for you and I.
Maybe.
Because for me, there is a certain maybe lifestyle or whatever that I expect to give my child. And I'm like, I can't afford that now. Again. So it's a bit of a tricky thing to be in, because I don't know what that term is, that thing where like people, where we don't allow like quote unquote poor people to live because of the expectations, I think, of like that we put on the wall, something like that, where it's like because of the way that we think the world should be, then we deprive like things that they would also want because we think, oh, you can't afford it or you can't do this. But yeah, like they should be able to have children as well, but they might not be feeding them what's that Cerelac, but they're feeding them, and the kids have grown and they're healthy and they're all these things.
That's very true. So like looking at it from that perspective, that's very, very true. Like that's very true. I think I was looking at it from like a very privileged point of view. That's very, very true. But that's again, that's the thing, is like these are all things that we have to think about when we think about parenting. But I think parenting is it's a very, very okay, this is going to be a difficult topic. I think we're going to just be like this, bouncing around because it's very personal to a lot of people, I think. Yeah. And I think it also has very many perspectives to it. Yeah. But I think this is it's probably one of the things where we have two different perspectives as well, because for me, like, I don't have a child and I don't think that's something that is going to happen in the near future. So I think, but you've always wanted to be a parent, you're a parent. So I think that's one of the things where we're going to have like differing perspectives. Yeah. But like there's been a rise of like child-free women. Yes. And that's why I said it's like, especially like, but this is like the manosphere that's bashing like child-free women. Yes. Right? Of like, how can you choose not to have a child? Like, you're expected to have a child, whatever. But that's the thing. Who expects this? The argument is very dumb argument. That's why I said everyone has the capacity to have most people have the capacity to have a child, but not everyone should have a child. Yeah. The expectation is the belief that, and I was listening to this dummy Candy Owens the other day. She said, Candice, what's her name? Candice Owens. Yes. On, you know, that show Surrounded on Jubilee? Where she debates with people. Oh my God. Yeah, and I was just like, you're so dumb as a person. Anyway, she's the idea in those conservative circles is because you're a woman and you have a womb, naturally, that's what you must reproduce. Like, that's what one of the reasons that's one of your purposes in life. That doesn't even make sense. Like the fact that you that's one of your greatest callings in life. Like real handmaid's tale stuff. Handmaid's tale things. Yeah. What do you mean greatest calling? Yeah, like you must be a woman and you must bear a child, and that's what you were brought here on earth to do. That's what your body was made to do. So you must utilize your body to do that, to deliver on one of your greatest tasks ordained to you as a woman. You are supposed to produce the children. So like, it doesn't make sense to me, because like it has never made sense to me. But I think it's also because I've seen a lot of while I wanted to be a mom, I've also grown up around a lot of child-free women. Yes. And I'm like, there's choice. You can choose to be a parent, you can choose to be child-free. Like, it doesn't make you any less of a human being. But like, for me, I don't understand that mentality. Like, okay, yeah, I have a womb. And then what? That you must use it. But also, okay, so what happens to the person whose womb doesn't work? So for them, are they defected? It's like saying they have a factory defect. Yeah, it's like a factory defect. So what happens? Like for them, how do they achieve their greatest purpose on earth? How do they achieve that purpose? Because maybe the womb doesn't. So what happens to that person? My mind. But that's why, like, for example, women who are unable to have children, like there's this label they put on them of like they're infertile, like like I said, like a factory defect. But that's so unfair. It's really so unfair. It's such a terrible thing to put on people, because also the thing is, and I think that also that mentality is what allows for like people like you're saying, like people who shouldn't be having children to have children, because they feel like I should be like I'm supposed to have kids and stuff like that. So people are having kids and maybe they don't even want to have the kid. Maybe they're just doing it, and that's how you have children being abused and things like that and stuff like that, because of this pressure that you've put on women, that is your sole purpose in life. Which is just like, crazy insane to me. Like, for example, like, and you know that on TikTok, that lady with a list? Oh my God. Kayla, you know that chick, the lady with a list? You haven't seen her?
Oh my
the one of
God.
the list of why you
So
shouldn't
she has a list
get
of
pregnant.
why you shouldn't get pregnant. So every time there's like a crazy story. You guys, the stories that I have seen, women have lost limbs. I was telling someone the other day, I was like, you know how like, yes,
Thanks.
then after.
Thanks.
But then there's like things like women will tell you how they went blind because they got pregnant.
Let me tell you, people play with these things. Being pregnant and bringing a child into this world is one of the most dangerous things any human being can partake
Yeah, I was
in.
telling someone, I was like, Ugandan men like to vibe here and tell you I'm going to give you a child, and I'm like, that's a threat on my life.
That's a threat on my life. It is dangerous.
I'm like,
It is dangerous.
I'll call the police.
It is very dangerous.
You've threatened my life at that point.
First of all, from day one when you get pregnant, people are suffering from
nausea,
from
morning sickness.
What. There are people. I have a friend who told me her second pregnancy. Do you know when you're on a drip every week because everything that you eat
is coming
back? Now the baby is at risk, but even you as the mother, you're at risk because from malnourishment and all other associated issues with vomiting every 5 minutes. Do you understand? This is only trimester 1. The other things that affect women, like some of the everyday things, like without going to that lady with the list, like many of them are extreme. Preeclampsia is a very major thing. And the thing with preeclampsia is many women develop hypertension. Like the child has come out of you, but now for the rest of your life, you have hypertension. Yeah.
Imagine.
Because now let me tell you.
You have a side effect.
Yeah, a side effect of being pregnant. Mm-hmm. There's hypertension, preeclampsia, what is it? Gestational diabetes. You develop diabetes because you decided to carry a child. My friends.
Right, but you guys, and the thing for me is like all these things is why it should be a choice. Like it should be a choice. It shouldn't be something that's put on you, that is imposed on you, because it's not fair to impose something like that. You're imposing something so dangerous on my body.
I'm still going with the list of the most common ones. Then, okay, now you've passed preeclampsia. When you get preeclampsia, you go on bed. Many of these conditions, you have to go on bed rest. So you can't work, you can't do what, you can't do what, because now the baby is at risk. There's even what's called placental abruption.
No, what's that?
Now, when the baby is in the baby is in the womb, there's many kinds of how the placenta thingy works, and then cervix incompetency or whatever. Anyway, you doctors, my doctor friends, you'll correct me where I've gone wrong. So some conditions, now the placenta can be too weak or can release the baby early. Now, if it happens, you have to go for a procedure, and they figure out how to keep the baby inside. But now you're on bed rest. Then if your cervix is incompetent, you have to go and they sew your cervix to keep the baby from
still
coming
inside.
Out. Yeah. Doctors, correct me if I'm wrong. You can also tell us. Now,
anyway,
you've not even reached
protection.
You've not even reached the giving birth after. You've not even reached the giving birth. You go for labor, Jukira.
Oh my God.
It's either C-section or delivery. Then there's a wide range of options of how you want to go about it. Remember, when you give birth to a child, you can also suffer from post-hemorrhage, thingy, like what is it called?
Like where you
PPH,
overbleed.
Anyway, when you overbleed, you can lose your life.
Yeah, but that one. As here today, I was watching a TikTok. I was watching where the lady was reading like this paper on on health in Africa, the state of health in Africa, and she was saying how what's the term for like when women die in labor? What's the
maternal mortality?
Yeah, maternal mortality. And she was saying how in Africa it's, I think, like 25% or something like that.
I studied that thing this year, but
like,
the numbers are high. Yeah, like
it was such a crazy number, and I'm like, what are you saying?
It's Africa and America now. America, that's a funny thing.
Yes.
America has also gone very high on like maternal mortality rates, but because of their poor
and she was saying
healthcare
it's
system.
she was saying it's one out of I think 25 expected to die during childbirth. And then I think she was saying in Western countries it's like 1 in 7,000 something.
Yeah.
Like the difference was
It's
wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
And it's like, you guys, what?
There's even an index that tracks those
But
things,
the fact that like it's such a dangerous situation to be in should be that reason why it's just not something that is like, and I'm not like, it's not imposed on people. Like, let it be a choice. Let it be something that you feel in the depth of your heart that you want,
that you're ready,
that you're even ready for, that you've prepared mentally as well, because there's also postpartum depression as well that comes with it.
You know, there's also postpartum psychosis,
as in you run mad.
I think it's called postpartum I think it's called postpartum psychosis. Like, there's postpartum depression, but now with this one, like, you can literally go into psychosis, and then some of the effects is you can actually kill your like people who kill their babies. They are dealing with like it's more than depression. Psychosis. Like, it's like that thing, the multitude of
it's a whole
things.
danger. Honestly, it's dangerous, and let's not force it on people. Let's not impose it on people. Let's not shame people. Like, let's not shame women into like giving birth, because it's such a dangerous thing. Me. Yeah. And it also, a lot of it comes from culture.
There's this chick, she was on another show, Bumplav. Her name is Pumla.
Yes.
She used to talk about how she has one child.
Yeah.
And so she used to say that she can never have another child again.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, she had never really thought about having children until she was married.
Pregnant. Yeah.
And then she had her child, who she loves so much.
Yeah.
But then she said, no, why would I risk my life
again
for an unknown being that I've not yet met?
Just in case.
I don't know that
I don't know.
Being.
Yeah.
Now I risk my life for an unknown being.
Just in case.
I already have this one that I know
that is amazing.
That is amazing. Now I risk my life. Again. I put my life in danger for another unknown being.
But you see, that's what women are doing every day. That's exactly what. But it's just so cool. Anyway, for me, I tell people, anytime you mention childbirth to me, you're threatening my life, and I'm taking it very personally.
I swear. It is a threat. It is a threat.
Yeah. But like if that's what you truly, truly want in the deepest part of your heart, I think do it. Like 100% do it. Like, children are amazing. Me, I'm always going to welcome them. But let's not be the ones to put that pressure on anyone else. Like, if that's what you want for you, 100, like, amazing, great. Yeah. But if that's what you want for you, then 100%. But don't also put that on someone else.
Yeah.
Like, just respect the women that are like, you know what, that's not for me. Because also people have different reasons. Because the same way that, the different reasons that people have for wanting children, the ones that don't want children also have their own reasons. And as much as we are talking about maybe like the dangers of childbirth and childbearing and pregnancy and stuff like that, there is reasons that are way deeper than that are way bigger than that, that you probably will never understand, because you would prefer, like, you want children. So for you, it probably won't make sense to you. And that's okay. That should be okay for you to be like, you know what, cool. That's kawa.
Yeah. Like, but do you think like our societies are ready to accept child-free women, especially?
That would mean that they see women as human beings.
And we're not ready to see women
as... And we're not ready to see women as human beings.
With autonomy,
with their exactly.
With agency, with nothing. We're not ready.
Yeah, we're not ready. We haven't reached there. The only way... My cup is dying. But the only way that society accepts child-free women is if society sees women as human beings with their own autonomy, as people that are not there to be in service to others.
Yeah.
But that's honestly, I hope it happens in my lifetime. I don't say...
Kayla said
like, nope. So you get like, it's definitely like, it's clearly not going to happen in my lifetime. So no, I don't think they're ready to see child. But also the good thing about that is that we don't care. Like, that's your problem. That only mattered, like, for society to be ready to do that only mattered when, again, and I keep saying this, when I couldn't have a bank account and couldn't buy land.
Yeah.
You get, that's the only time it mattered. But now, what are you going to do to me?
Yeah. Are you going to beat me?
Are you going to beat me?
No.
You still need me on top of thingy that in all the service that I do to man, to child, to what, you also still need me in capitalism. So
You
it's
need
not
me as
you
an
need me as an employee.
employee.
So they're not going to do it. What are you going to do to me?
Nothing.
They're going to make noise. They're going to do all these things, but they need, like, you get. So the thing is, and that's what I think. That's what, like, that's the that's what makes it not okay, but like that's like the consolation.
Yeah.
That's the consolation that we have, is that they're not going to beat us.
Yeah, they're not going to beat us.
There's nothing you can do, whether you accept it or they don't accept it. That's how it is. I've said I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, because now, like, for example, like, now look at someone like Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah.
I know she says she doesn't want to be the poster child for child-free women.
But we've really made her that.
But she's giving a voice to, like, being child-free, which I absolutely love, because we don't see a lot of women boldly living in their choice to be child-free in, like, the media and publics, you know, in public, like, in discourse. And I really love that. Like, imagine someone like Tracy Ellis Ross, great actress, comes from a great family, super successful, super wealthy, but she's judged for being
not having
children
and not having a man,
despite
all her accolades, her achievements. It's so wild. But you think that you know what, the other thing that I love really about her as well is that she also represents a certain woman that I think we also don't really talk about properly a lot. Is like, there's the ones who's like, they've decided, like, I'm never going to have kids. That's not for me, and that's okay. And yeah, like, we talk about that woman every day. But there's also the woman, and I think that's what that's who she mostly represents for me, because she's talked about it. She's like, I didn't wake up and decide I'm never going to have children. I just decided I'm not going to have children in a situation that I'm not happy. That's not favorable. Like, I'm not just going to have children just for the sake of having children. I needed it to be in a certain situation. I needed it to be like in maybe with the right person, in the right relationship and things like that. And she was like, that's something I was willing to sacrifice and not have.
Yeah.
If it wasn't favorable in a favorable situation, like it had to be and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's women who, it's not that they don't want to have children, but life hasn't yet dealt them the cards to have the kids.
Yeah,
like, men are trifling.
They're trifling.
And maybe she doesn't want to have the child by herself.
Yeah. And we don't acknowledge that there's also a grief that comes with those particular
100%.
Women in that situation who have not yet found, who have decided that they will only have children in a circumstance that's purely favorable for them. So we don't give them, we lack the understanding we lack that understanding around their grief.
Yes.
So we're not empathetic towards them, where we judge and we just judge without understanding the situation they're in, the context that they're dealing with, and, you know, why they have chosen to wait until a certain point to have children. Yeah. And she talks about that very clearly, about how she has always wanted all these things. Yeah, but if they haven't come to her, and she's not willing to pause her life.
Yeah, she's not going to pause her life, and she's also not willing to compromise on the things that she feels she needs to be able to do this. Because, I mean, maybe that's what she needs to feel to be a good mother. You get, like, and like you said, like that grief is something that, and again, there's no way that we're going to be able to empathize and give them grace and give these women grace for that, to be able to go through that grief, if again we don't see women as human beings.
Yeah, we don't.
You get, because they're human beings with feelings. You get, like, and we need to be able to allow them to go through these feelings. You get.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just
there's a lot to unpack.
Like, let's just be nice to them. Let's be good to them.
Yeah. But then there's also this conversation about, like, people who want to say, like, especially men, when you ask men, why do you want to have children? Then they say, legacy. To carry on my legacy.
Sir, what legacy? The one in your office. I'm sorry. What legacy?
I think people don't understand the word legacy.
Bruh.
Like, people really don't understand the word legacy.
It's such a crazy thing. Like, for me, that legacy thing. And I think also for me, I don't know, like, because my dad did give us his last name, and I think that was very intentional on his part. So, but I think for me, like, I've never, that legacy thing, like, it's always just mashed me up.
It mashes me up.
Because now, like, for me, of course, like like it's become, I think we've talked about this before, where I'm like, it's become like a thing for like men, especially like someone will be like, oh yeah, like Asa doesn't want children, and then it will become like a thing where a guy is like, yeah, I'm the one who's going to like to prove her wrong, her theory wrong, and you're like, okay, please. So it's, I think so, like a lot of the conversations that I've had, some I'm always like, okay, you give me a good reason, like give me a good reason, and the first reason that they come with, like legacy, I'm like, sir,
even you have a legacy.
Even you have a legacy. You think you have a legacy? Is that you're fighting so hard for to protect? You're sitting in an office, my friend. The only legacy that you're protecting is maybe the one of, I don't know, like what do you what a company that you're working for?
What legacy do you what
legacy? What have you built that is so grand,
powerful,
so powerful that you're trying to protect?
What ethos or values and what impact have you created in society that, oh my God, my legacy
people
has play
to
with the word
on.
legacy.
And for me, it's such a very selfish thing because, and me, I always ask that. I'm like, okay, of course, when I ask that, they're like, yeah. So I always ask like, okay, what does legacy mean to you? They're like, yeah, like you'll be forgotten. People have to remember you through your children.
But what you mean is lineage. Like, you're just carrying on your lineage, not legacy. We play with the word.
Language came on a boat. We can forgive them. English came on a boat. It's Kawa. Luzungu came on a boat. But my thing also is, okay, fine, but why are you putting that burden on your child?
Yeah.
Like that's a burden to put on someone who might not even want it.
Yeah.
Like
because children have no choice. They have no choice in the conversation.
They have no choice in the conversation. Before you've decided from before that I'm going to give birth, I'm going to procreate and bring this person in this world for my own selfish reason. Because I remember I told someone one day, I was like, I'll be dead. I will be gone.
Yeah.
What they say about me was, I want to know. You get so why?
It's like self-serving. It's like an ego thing.
Such an
ego thing.
100%. It's an ego thing. Yeah. And again, but it's mostly men who will tell you the legacy part. It's men who will tell you like, oh, legacy. No. I'm like, yeah, that's your ego that's leading.
Because if it's after you're gone, while women on the other hand are always talking about like for them motherhood isn't about when they are not here.
It's for when they're here. I think it's companionship after, which to be fair is also selfish.
It is, but
because you're like, who will take care of you when you're not? I
think that's more of a main thing.
Though. Even women, I've had women say like, yeah, who will take care of you like when you're old, like you need kids in the house. I'm like, so you're giving birth to laborers. You're giving birth to free labor.
Well, maybe like I said, maybe context varies and like it's all subjective, but like. For me, I wouldn't say like, because at least what I've experienced, and I think that's why I wanted to be a mother. Yes, all reasons to have children are selfish, right?
100%.
For me, it's not who will look after me while I'm old, but that also comes with a certain level of privilege where you don't have to rely on your children to look after you, but you're the one that's working hard to set them up, so they never have to look after you. So, and for me, I think that's what I've seen. That's what I've seen in my family.
Yeah,
like looking after older people is because you
want to. This is someone you love.
Obligation. You love so deeply that you can't imagine someone else looking after them.
Yes.
But like the women in my family, it's more of I want to, which is also it's selfish. I want to help shape a person. Like I want to
100% I want selfish, but like
I want to be a part of this young person's life from when they're a baby and look after them.
And that's a beautiful thing.
But for men, it's always
selfish.
When
but of course, it's always they lead with ego. Like 100%, they always lead with ego. It's how are they going to see me? How are they like? What am I going to leave behind?
Yeah.
You will be gone.
Yeah,
that's not the most important thing. Like you get so. But even the taking care of thing, like that shaping thing, like that's beautiful. Like it's amazing. Like we would all want to be a part of someone's story. You get like that's amazing, especially if the person turns out to be great. But then also there's also that part where you might bring that person in this world, and now you've brought us problems.
You've brought a mother.
And by what I'm saying is that it's not always you can't be sure. You get that's anyway. You know what? I feel like every single reason to bring a life into this world is selfish. It's inherently selfish. So you can't we can go back and forth on every single reason, which is, and I think I'm also in a place where like I've done that so much that like I will be there and someone will give me a reason. I'm like, but if you look at it in this way, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But again, it's do it because it's something that you really want to do.
want.
No matter what the reason is, just do it because it's something that you truly want.
Yeah.
And think about like why you want it. I think that's the most important thing, because we will like you'll be there and you'll be like, yeah, that's what I want. But like, have you really thought about it? And like, is it because you want it? Because I know people who are having kids because their parents are getting old and their parents need grandchildren, even if they're not 100% ready. And they're like, yeah, but like my mom, she's getting old. Like she needs to like see the grandchildren, and then they'll have kids. But or they'll like get into relationships that are not thinking because they want to get into the relationship so they can have kids quickly.
Yeah.
So I think all those things is things that you have to think about, because at the end of the day, I do believe they affect the way that you parent.
Yeah. But like another thing that we often don't talk about, like with choosing like parenting and motherhood in this case, is like the penalty you have to pay, like the economic penalty that you have to pay
As a woman
for choosing motherhood, right? Like and like you said, it's about, we don't see women beyond objects or as their bodies.
Yeah.
So there's the expectation you must have a child, but without putting into account, or even if it's put into account, I think that was that was the aim of capitalism. Right? Like I keep saying, it was a feature, not a bug. But we think some things are mistakes, but they were not mistakes.
They were put
very
there on purpose.
intentional. Yeah. You expect that someone should be a mother, but then you're not accounting for their contribution, for example, to the workforce, and their other contributions to like society.
Yeah.
So like that's where you get things like, the motherhood penalty, right? Have the children. It's great. It's wonderful to be a mother. Amazing. Good stuff, right? Do all the right things. Go to school, become a mother, etc., etc., etc. But you're not accounting for the cost. What is going to cost this woman to have children?
But they don't care.
They don't
like what you said. It was a feature. It wasn't a bag. They don't care because even the way that they've made it, they've set it up is that the standards that they've set for us are so high. You have to be able to do it all. You can do it all. You're the boss. You're like the boss lady. You're the woman that can do it all. You can be a mother.
I hate that boss
even
lady.
That was what boss babe. That boss babe thingy. Like it was in the like 2000. Was it? No, it was like
it was
late,
in like the early 2000s.
Like late 2000s. Like I think like 2010 to like 2015. Like 2010 to like 2020 there.
That you can do it all.
You can do it all.
I'm not trying to.
You get even please leave me out of it. Packs out of the game.
Yeah,
it's not.
I'm not God's strongest soldier.
I am not, bruh.
I'm not the one.
Not the one.
I'm not trying to be.
Even the three. Like, please leave me out of that game.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's how it was set up. Of like, oh yeah, you need, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Damned if you decide to be a career woman, or she's not a mother, she's not this. If you decide to be a mother, or she's a stay-at-home mom, how dare she be a stay? Like you're so lazy. You're not modern enough. You're this. You're that. So it's you damned if you do. Like you need to be like this superior being to be able to be a woman. But it's like why? And the thing is. And if you think about it, is that penalty is not like that. Men don't have to pay that penalty.
Yeah. In fact, it's the reverse for men. Like that's a funny thing. So for example, so like wage gaps or pay gaps for like I've forgotten the percentages. For every child a woman has, you lose money. Like basically you're at a risk for losing.
And the money they pay you reduces.
Yes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Then for women, for every child, for women who are mothers, have are more likely to remain in poverty.
Yeah, that one, 100%, because they're going to take care of the kids. Like it's thingy,
Yeah, I've forgotten the percentage of how much of your salary you lose per child that you have. And then for men, I think it's like your salary
because they say now he has a family to take care of.
Yeah, that's where that story of last time comes in. For men, for every child that you have, their salary goes up. For the women, it's inversely related.
You get. So that's what I'm saying. Like the penalty is for mothers. So even when they're putting all this pressure on women to do this, because I remember there's a thing that I saw, a video that I saw. There is this very famous. He's a video director. He's worked with all the famous. He's white, but he's worked with like all the famous brands and stuff like that. And it's so funny because I'm always saying I don't take life advice from men.
Men, yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I can't relate.
I can't relate because their experiences, first of all, they're saying things and you're like, huh?
My context is completely
like the context
different.
you get, like I'm like I would never get away with a lot of the
yeah.
things that they'll say that they did or the risks that they took. You get like I would never.
I don't have the privilege.
I don't have the privilege to do that.
Yeah.
And I understand that this guy is white, but like this would relate to so much because it was so this guy was saying how he was telling this very inspiring story about how like you have to have grit and you have to want it bad enough and you have to like sacrifice and do all these things. And he was saying how he like when he was just starting out, he would sleep on couches on his friends' couches. He'd be couch surfing from here to there. He'd do work for free just to get the reels and to be able to show people the work that he can do, because he was also a YouTuber. He would spend all this time doing YouTubes with people and things like that, and that's how he built his brand. And then brands were able to see him and then pay him. He would be on the road for months on end. And the woman was saying is like, that's great, but like during all this time he was a father and a husband. So where were the children? Where were the children while he was doing all those things? Like, that's not something he even had to think about.
Yeah.
Like, where are the kids? But as a woman, if you're a mother and you're trying to take, and you want to like take this risk and build your thingy, you know what? You're going to tell people that I left my kids at home.
First of all, the judgment.
Of course, it's the judgment. That's the first question they'll ask you. So who is taking care of the children? As if you didn't birth them with another human being. You get, but no one, and this chick was saying like, in this interview, no one even brought up the kids. But it was something he mentioned at the beginning of the interview, how he was married and he had, I think, 2 kids to like toddlers. No one even brought up, because of course, if he's not being paid, if he's doing stuff for free, someone is taking care of those kids. Someone is feeding them, which means it's the wife at home. So which means she also has a job.
Yeah.
You get. So again, the penalty of parenting is mostly on women. It's mostly relies on the woman.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times, even just here at home, where your friends, like maybe your married friends, will have children, and then you see that girl outside or the woman outside. You're like, oh, so where are the kids? And you're like, I'm sorry, do you expect them on my back?
I should carry them on my back.
Should I carry them on my back? Like,
I don't have a life outside of like my children.
Do they not have a father? When you saw my husband or whoever outside yesterday, did you ask him where the kids
are?
You get. So again, your life people expect your life stops whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
It becomes about these children, it becomes about these human beings. And I think that's something that we also have to, I don't think we understand the gravity of it and how much it does affect our everyday lives.
Yeah.
Because I think that boss babe thing, that boss babe mentality we've pushed it for so long that we forgot that it's actual work. It's actual labor.
It's not a realistic way to look at life.
It's
because,
really
for
not.
example, and it pushes us into, it creates narratives around our lives as women that are really not true. For example, like it equates to, I can have it all. When you really, what happens is, or the work-life balance situation that they always ask women, how do you attain work-life balance in an interview? And I love the women now who said, did you ask the last guest who was a guy about work-life balance? Stop it. Why are you asking women about work-life balance? Because at the end of that day, it's this work-life balance is a mythical thing.
It's not, first of all, attainable.
It's not attainable. We've been discussing, like, I have seasons in my life where, I focus on being a mom. I have seasons where I have seasons where I just switch off. It's downtime. It's just basic personal admin. I'm dealing with my life as a human being. And I think some of the women that I kind of look up to, because I'm at the point in my life where I don't have role models, because everything, like I say, everything is about context. Everything you keep saying,
Context
everything is
is
political.
very,
So for me, I wouldn't say I have role models in my life. I have people that inspire me, but I don't have role models.
Yeah.
But some of the women that inspire me talk about this, and they say work-life balance is not for real.
So it's a lie.
Because sometimes if you decide to focus on your children, your child is sick this month, you're back and forth in the hospital, your career takes a hit, and it's okay. But also, do you know what? The next month, when you're running around from meeting, globe-trotting, the parenting is suffering. And then that's also okay. It's about saying, okay, in this season, this is what I'm doing. In this time of the year, this is what I'm doing. And this is my greatest focus.
Yeah.
And next week, I can go back to, chasing the goals. And I think that gives... that's a more realistic way to look at life, especially if you're choosing like motherhood and family and all that stuff. You really can't attain it all. You're going to run yourself into the ground and burn out completely and finish. And it's also something, for example, I've seen with my own mother. She has different seasons for everything. Like, she will have her season, work hard, etc., which she does, to be fair, 365 days a year. But also within those, there are some times where certain elements are given higher priority than others, right? Certain components of her life are given higher priorities than others. And I think for me that has set kind of like a healthy example, that it's not linear. Like this whole, I must be a boss, I must excel. It's not like a one-track situation. And there's no work-life, but it's not there.
I think also the other thing is help. And that's also like even, especially like, it's okay to need help.
Yeah.
I think as a parent, I think that's another thing that I also don't know where that came from, because in this African society, that is a lie, where shaming women for needing help became a thing.
Yeah, like, because we look at women as slaves.
But also the thing is, like, where we come from, Liz, it's like we're raised by villages. It's a literal village of, like, your parents will go to look for money. The woman, the man, everyone has gone. And it's your grandmother, your aunties who are raising you. And that's such a normal thing. Like, it's okay.
It's okay.
So I think the thing is also, like, I think with motherhood and parenting is, it's okay. Like, do not be shamed into needing, like, do not be shamed out of needing help.
Yeah.
It's okay to need help, and it's okay to accept help.
Yeah.
Like, you're not less of a mom because you needed someone to take your kids away for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You get, you're not at all, like, you are not less of a mom because you needed someone, because maybe you have maids at home that are taking care of your kids. That's not something for someone to shame you about. I really hope that's not even a thing. It's
a thing because, for example, like, we have this thing around care gaps, like the caregiving and care gaps, where women, because of, like, if you put into account that they also contribute to the economy and they are contributors in this capitalism, right? Yeah. Women on average, on every given day, do 3 times the labor of any man.
Yeah.
And that thing plays my mind because there's unpaid, like, physical labor.
Remember,
it's free. It's unpaid. Free. Unpaid labor, emotional labor, physical caregiving, like all those things. Mm-hmm. You wake up in the morning, you have children. You're the one who drops to school. Then you go to your office. Fighting the traffic jam. Jukida, when you've taken them to school, you've packed lunches.
Yeah.
You take them to school. Then also you go in the traffic to your office. You work the whole day. At midday, they call you, the child is running a temperature. You leave the office. Woo! Take to hospital. In all of this, is you alone. Mm-hmm. Take the child to hospital. Pediatrician, 1 hour, 2 hours. You've not eaten lunch. Then you have to find lunch for this child. Take the child back home. Go back to office. Mm-hmm. You leave work 4-5. Brave the traffic jam. Go. The child is sick. You're still looking after the child. Before you know it, the good guy has also come, socks the other side, shoes the other side. He's also waiting for his meal. Eh? You have to cater for the good guy. He can't even put his socks in the laundry basket. He can't put his shoes on the rack. The jacket he has left the other side. You've told him bring milk and bread, he didn't even bring it. Now you have to go.
Or he brought the milk that he knows the family doesn't drink.
And then now you have to go and look for the bread because now you have to pack sandwiches in the morning, right? In all of that, you also now have to go to the kitchen. If you have a maid, you're supervising. If you don't have a maid, you're cooking. Utani se huwata matoke na bumonde. Omchere go. Never.
I'm stressed just from hearing that.
Then
I'm so tired.
Joki na bali bazene homework. The bundles of joy. The bundles of joy have come with homework. But you have to do homework. At every bundle of joy, you're chasing them to go and bathe. Bundle of joy.
TV.
TV. Band of joy mulino kola homework anabe agende yebake. Band of joy nafukire ekizibu. Jokira, you have to load the dishwasher if you're lucky.
If you have a dishwasher,
if you're lucky to have a dishwasher, or you have to wash the utensils or supervise the one that's washing the utensils so that they don't leave the kitchen dirty. Then you all go to bed. Oh, Muntu, you're in one day. In one day, you've lived
you also have
3
to
lives.
service the other one in the bed.
Then the other one is going to lie on top of you at night. He's just going to follow you. So basically, you've been a mother, you've been a mother, physician, you probably a teacher, a cook and chef, a cleaner. In the day you're a banker, then you're also a sex worker at the end of that day.
People wonder why mothers create stress on their children.
You get like someone that's
in all of that. If you're a good, if you're someone who has reached, some level, you do some therapy, or you're working on yourself. You've also done emotional labor. You're dealing with the one of self-esteem from the bully. You're dealing with this one. Then you're now also counseling this one. Jukida, now you also have aging parents. You're on the phone.
There's also black tax, but you have to go and take care of the problems
of
in
elder
the
care.
village.
Black tax. You're even the sick parents. You're saying, have you taken the medicine for scar?
You're also raising that.
The
mommy, don't eat that. What did you eat today?
Why did you eat that?
Doctor refused you.
Doctor yakuganyo obumonde. The mukade has eaten the bumonde. Then you say, you're suffering. You also have social obligations. You have friends, baby showers,
weddings, meetings,
the bridesmaid, maid of honor, the church guys, the women go through a lot.
The women are suffering.
The women are suffering.
Oh my God,
when someone says you hadn't looked at it that way. When someone, that's why
you put it in perspective of like a whole day, and you're like, what?
No, because I know, because of raising my child, I know.
You have,
Thankfully, I wasn't married, but I've been in relationships along the way. That also, even if you're not living with a person, there's also emotional labor that goes into that relationship.
100%.
That's why sometimes I reach a point in my life and I'm like, I'm not interested in a relationship right now because that things I have on my back here. There are many that I'm fighting with, and the load is already heavy. That's why you find women saying, I can't be with someone who can't help lift my... Personally, I can't be with someone who can't help with me with my load.
And I think that's the thing. I think now that's sort of come. Like, if you decide as a woman that parenting is something that you want to do, I beg of you. Okay. There's, of course, the ones that want to do it alone. As in, I have women in my family who have decided, like, me, I want to be a parent. I'm going to do this by myself. Yeah. That's great. Yeah. And if you can do it, that's amazing. But if you decide, because I think it's different when you decide by yourself that I'm going to do it by myself, because then I think you're also mentally prepared to be able to do it by yourself. But if you've chosen to do it with a partner, I beg of you, choose a partner that is going to help you lift that load.
Because the load is heavy. Being in this world as a woman, it's so heavy. Like the world we're living in, it was not built for women. It was not built. Yes. It was not built with women in mind. It was built by white men for other white men. By the way, all of you, in the other part of the food chain, you are not put into consideration. Yeah.
And you're now fitting in because they're men. What are we to do because they're men? But like at the end of the day, as a woman, like you're the last person on that totem pole.
Yeah, on that very last one.
Like you're the last person. So we're just trying to like fit in, which is amazing because we're still thriving. But I think just like have that in mind of like, you remember you're navigating a world that was not meant for you to thrive.
Yeah.
You get.
No, when you look at it that way, like for me, I just remember
Bruh,
when my child.
I'm so tired from that description of that.
Let me tell you, when my child was like, when she was much younger, now
Yeah,
there's a
of
bit more
course.
autonomy because she's
Yeah.
older. But like when she was after in any given day, you're navigating traffic jam, drop the kid to school, go to work, you're still there. Now that the school my child was in at that point, every week they have an activity. That's in office time, in work time. And then I asked them, can't you do these activities on the weekend?
Oh, but can't you do them once a month?
What's an activity every weekend? This weekend sports day. Sorry, this week sports day on like a Wednesday. This week sports day. Next week parent teacher conference. The next week theater production. After one day a week you're not in office because you have to. No
wonder they are paying you less.
You have to be there for the child. Jukida, your attendance at work is being affected.
Yes.
You're running back and forth in this Kampala of hours of traffic jam. Between the school, between home, making sure that the child is taken care of when they get home from school or when they are leaving. You're running between doctor's appointments. Afsa omuntu otuka nechikuketa no nechikoma wano. Anyway, but also quickly before we wrap up, like I think it's important for us to talk about the different options that women have.
Yes.
And then they can explore in choosing, in what journey they choose, whether it's from child-free, whether it's being child-free, whether it's choosing routes like adoption, or choosing, if you decide to do it by yourself, choosing, the donor option and like IVF, whether it's, fertility issues and seeking like fertility treatments. Like there's such a wide range of options that I don't think a lot of women know about or have explored, or even those that know about them are like very skeptical.
I think the first thing is like, and I think I've emphasized this whole episode is, I think first, like, just really understand why you want to parent, like why do you want to be a parent, and also what kind of parenting you want to do. I think the first and foremost is, why do you want to be a parent? Is it just because you feel like the need that, okay, I'm not whole if I haven't given birth? Is that why? Or is it because you genuinely, like what you said about, like, you want to bring a life into this world and you want to nurture that life and you want to take care of that life? I think thinking about that is one of the things that maybe might help you decide what kind of route you want to take, because even if you can do it, even if you can give birth to a child, maybe if you think about like why you want to be a parent, maybe it could even lead you to adoption. You get, and you're like, you know what, if it's nurturing a human being and like seeing them grow and being a good person and being a pillar of society, maybe you could do that with a child that already needs that is already here. You get, which is such a noble thing to do. Like, there's no shame in that. Like, there shouldn't be any shame in that. So I think that's the first thing, is like, just I really, really would implore people to think about that, because whether we like it or not, a lot of the decisions that we make, even for us, even if you think you're a feminist and you're all these things, a lot of the decisions that we make for us are are thinking in the patriarchy and misogynoir. You get, like, whether we like it, like, you might like it, you might not like it, but that's how we've been brought up. You get. So I think once you separate the two, and with what society has imposed on us and taught us and told us what we have to do and who we have to be, and you still come to the decision that this is what you want to do, then I think then now you start to look at those options.
And right now the world, once you figure that out, right now the world that we live in, like I kept saying, science is a beautiful thing. I'm a believer in the science. Trust and believe the science always. Like, when you're given choices in life, believe the science. And I keep saying science is so beautiful because there are so many options now. And even also the way where we're going as a society in general, at a global level, of reframing what parenthood is. I'll give you an example. There are some women who, for them, parenthood, they've chosen that their route to bringing some people into the world is to donate their eggs. and they've said, I'm not going to carry this child,
But
I'm not
there's
even going
someone
to-
who needs it.
There's someone who needs it, and I will help them become the mother that they need to become.
Yeah.
There's things like surrogacy.
Surrogacy.
Like me,
There's no shame in surrogacy, by the way. Like if you think
if the
there's
surrogacy is a bit contentious.
Yeah, I was
If
going to
it's-
say
yeah.
there's like that thing about like it being ethical and stuff
Yeah.
like that, which is thinking because at the end of the day, carrying and bearing children is a very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And if someone is willing to put their body through that, it's probably because they're desperate.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they always are. Maybe there are people who, I mean, especially in the West, there are women who just do it because apparently they just enjoy being pregnant.
Yeah.
So
There's women who do that. Yeah.
there's women who do that.
And they
But-
have better regulation.
yeah,
I
and they
think,
also
yeah.
have better regulation here. I don't think the regulation is there yet. Probably it will be at some point, but it's not yet there. So
Yeah.
there's of course that conversation about how ethical it is because the person that's doing it, why are they doing it? Like you have to realize that they are risking their lives, like literally risking their
Their
lives
lives, yeah.
to be able to give you something that you so badly want.
Yeah.
So think about that as well. Like be empathetic to the fact that this person could lose their life because you want to be, because
Yeah.
they're doing this for you. And I know you're paying them, but how much are you paying them for their life?
Yeah. So, and another thing, like we tell women all the time that biological clock, which is a myth, by the way. Science is showing that biological clock
It's for the other guys.
is for the other gender. Not
That's a whole, I think
that's a whole
that's a
other
whole,
topic.
it's not a whole topic. I mean, it's here.
It's here.
But we are not scientists. But if you read about it, I've like thinking, because the first time I saw it, I was like, there is no way.
It is.
And then it was like, bruh, like the actual biological clock is actually because the people that you're procreating with they
Yeah.
assume that you're procreating with your age mates.
Nope.
So if you are with your age mate, it means that the sperm has sort of like quality has reduced.
But so biological clock, okay, they say menopause a certain age, but
Yeah.
also what's being discovered is menopause is occurs at different
people are giving birth at 50,
at different
51.
ages, but also for different demographics.
Oh,
Yeah, like there are studies that are coming out, and
Like
like
black
within
women,
the
white women, and
communities,
things
yeah,
like
the
that.
different
Okay.
communities. Menopause looks different for
different
for
people.
different people. Yeah,
that's interesting.
so even just the symptoms, right?
Yeah.
But like because of this whole biological clock issue debate, like there's options for women also with
Yeah.
that whole biological clock option debate, right? Like egg freezing is a thing. We need to normalize that.
Yeah.
We need to, if you can
100%.
afford it, like freeze the
Yeah,
egg.
freeze the eggs and then do it when you're ready.
I have about 4 or 5 friends who have frozen their eggs.
Yeah.
I know it's much cheaper
yeah.
in other countries,
Yeah.
but like if
you can do it here as well.
you can do it here at the I think at the hospital in Bukoto.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that
Nice.
fertility.
So yeah,
hospital.
so I mean, if that's what you really, really want, instead of you ending up in like a situation now that you get again, like what we were saying of because that's what someone really wants, and then they're like, oh my god, time, and then you end up with a situation that you'd rather not be in. To be honest, like freeze the eggs, like if something like you can afford.
Yeah. And I think in the future when we do decide to have guests occasionally, I
Yeah.
think we should bring someone in to discuss like the different options.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
think because that's the space we want to create with this platform, with this podcast,
Yeah.
we want to explore like we want to explore ideas and conversations that are not normally had, especially in our setting.
Yeah.
And to bring as much information
As possible.
as we can, as
Yeah,
we possibly
factual
can.
information.
Yeah. To kind of like also give young women like ourselves, we're no longer young, but women like ourselves, agency and autonomy over their
Bruh,
lives to
that's
make
the-
like
yeah,
the best and most informed
Yeah.
decisions for their lives.
I think that's the most important thing for me, as honestly, is that I just need young women. Like, and these are things I think someone commented on like I think the first episode, and they said something along the lines of like, these are not conversations. Actually, someone texted me and they were like, these are not conversations that were being had when we were younger. And I was like, that's so true. Like, these are conversations that maybe we had amongst ourselves. And also, as we evolved, of course, probably we were not having the exact conversations, but we had an idea of who we are and like these things that we're talking about. But they're not conversations that we had like older women and people in our communities talk about because how do you even consider? I remember the first time I told someone that I don't think I ever want to have children. It was like, what?
Yeah, like an abomination.
It was like an abomination. And it was like, yeah. So it was like, yeah, like, don't say that. Don't put that on yourself. You're going to change your mind and you're going to regret why you ever said it.
No.
You get. So I think for me, that's the most important thing with the conversations that we have, is to be able to allow to let women know and young girls know that, you know what, like, you are a human being and you have the agency, you have the autonomy.
Yeah.
You get.
Most importantly, you're a human
First
being,
and foremost.
first and foremost, with agency and autonomy
Yes.
over your own body, over your own life, over your own decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, just don't, like, and I'm not, like, it's not good, like, it's easier said than done 100%, because again, we are brought up in a patriarchal society, whether we like it or not. So those internalized things are going to be there. But if you can make even the smallest decisions, start with that. Like, just start with making the smallest decisions for you.
Yourself, yeah.
For you, where it's just you. You're not thinking about someone else, you're not thinking about any other person. And then start from there.
Like, and for me, the way I look at it is, I ask myself, what do I want?
Yes.
Like, me as Liz, in who I am as a person, what do I want?
Yeah.
Right? And then that then dictates, like, how I go about things and I've had to figure out how to remove the external pressure and go within and ask myself at a very deep level, what do I want?
Yeah.
And I think we'll keep having these conversations.
Yeah.
We're at a time we have to love you and leave you.
It's been an interesting conversation, this one. I think it's been like one of our most, what's the word you use, contentious conversations, only because
shaking the table.
Yeah, this one is going to shake a few tables, but it's also only because I think it's something that's very personal for a lot of people. It's so personal for a lot of people, but we just want you to understand that, like, I don't think there's a wrong or right choice.
Yeah, there's no one size
There's
fits
no
all
one
approach.
size fits all approach to parenting. Is if that's what you want for you, that's what you want for you. But I think, and this is a thing that I'm always telling my friends and the women in my life, is I think we just need to learn to mold and curate the life that works for us.
Yeah.
So
design your life.
Yeah, like, design your life, curate it for what works for you, because you're the only one going to live your life. You're the only one going to live your life. However much we're doing things because society, because the parents, because the job, because who are people and things like that. At the end of the day, you're the only one who has to live that life.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So see you on the next one. We have to dip because now the guys are giving us side eyes. But see you on the next episode of She Knows Best.
It's not therapy, but
it might help.
Peace out.